So can you really use the words healthy and comfort food in the same sentence? Our next guest says, sure you can, because all fats aren't the enemy. And today we're going to find out which ones are actually the good ones. Taylor Greenberg is a registered nurse and writes the food blog, The Little Chef That Could. Welcome back to the show, Taylor.
You.
Before we get cooking, because I am curious if we could have healthy comfort food, talk to me about your blog and some of the articles and stories we could find on it.
So it's all like to call them like recipe renovations. So healthy kind of takes on some of my favorites. Some are kind of some creative ideas. I just made an awesome kimchi omelet, which is kind of...
I don't even know what kimchi is,
Kimchi is it's like a Japanese cabbage. It's fermented, so it has a lot of probiotics, and it's very spicy. Oh. So that was kind of one of my experiments that
And it turned out well?
Was successful. Yes, so that's coming up soon on the blog, but lots of whole grains, lean proteins.
Very good.
Healthy foods.
All right, so explain to me how this could be healthy comfort food.
Well,
I see cheese, so that definitely is a start.
I can't live without cheese. I can't. I love it. So I'm a big believer in whole fats. I think if you think about it, whole foods are the healthiest for us. So I don't believe in taking out all the fat. Our body needs them to digest a lot of the vitamins and proteins, and especially dairy products. So
you're saying cheese is okay?
In terms of dairy, I say use, don't do reduced fat, don't do no fat, because it ends up being other fillers
and
that are
taste
chemicals.
The same either.
It's not, and it's not worth. I mean, it's not worth.
All right.
The sacrifice,
the full fat one.
And what I like to do with my cheeses, the sharper cheese you use, the less you need, because it's going to have a much stronger flavor.
Makes sense.
So with this recipe, I'll use an extra sharp cheddar and then a Parmesan. So both two very strong cheeses.
Okay, so it looks like you've kind of melted it
here.
Yeah,
so you want to start out, it's kind of like a baked mac and cheese. So instead of using a macaroni, we're going to use quinoa and bulgur.
Okay.
So you're just going to cook it to package directions, about 3/4 of a cup of each. So quinoa has all 9 essential amino acids.
Does that make it a superfood?
Which makes it a superfood, and it's the only grain that's considered a whole protein.
Okay.
Most proteins you need either, like if you eat brown rice, you need to put black beans with it, and then it'll be considered a whole protein. So this was actually on Jeopardy the other day.
Oh, did you get it right? You knew?
I knew. So you cook that to package directions.
Got it.
So once that's done, I like to do it all in one pot because I don't have time or the room to clean up. So once that's done, I'll throw it in another bowl. Sometimes it'll have to be drained. Just it varies how much water's left. When I made it this morning, it didn't have to be. Okay. So then in medium saucepan, you're going to use about 1/4 cup, half and half, and then 1/3 cup of just whole milk.
Okay.
And you're going to bring that just to like a low simmer. Then you're going to add your cheddar cheese, about 8 ounces of that. And you're going to, we can make one here.
We're going to melt it, right?
Yes. So add that. I don't know how quick this will heat up.
So you said it was like a baked mac and cheese.
Yes, so I'll show you with this. So we're gonna add our cooked grains. And you can add...
It was quinoa, and what was the other grain?
Bulgur. So bulgur is really good, it's anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
And it's whole grain, it's a wheat. It's basically not stripped of all the nutrients, like a rice would be.
Taylor, when did you start eating like this?
In college.
You did? Was there a reason why? Or
I gained the freshman 15 plus some. And I came home around Thanksgiving break, and I knew something had to change. So I realized I gave up processed food for about a month and lost a whole bunch of the weight, like no problem. And I felt so much better. I had so much more energy. I was working out, and it wasn't even that I was able to lose the weight. It was that I felt so much better.
Yeah,
and I would wake up and ready to go.
All right. So we have about a minute left.
So you're going to combine these ingredients, and you're going to get,
well, it's looking like mac and cheese minus the macaroni.
And so I like to use a cast iron skillet. I just think it looks prettier.
It does, sure. You can put it right in the oven.
Yep. So use really whatever baking dish. If you want to make brownies, you can use like the 8x10, whatever you have. So I just add this to a greased baking dish, whatever you have on hand.
Now, do you have the oven preheated?
I do, about 350.
Okay.
So you're going to add that. And they make these great whole wheat breadcrumbs now. I'm Italian, so everything has breadcrumbs in it. So I'm so excited when I found these at the store.
Oh, it's great.
So about
and you just sprinkle it right on?
Yep, you're going to cover it with some foil, throw it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes, just so everything kind of gets a little more bubbly. You'll take the foil off and top it with the grated Parmesan cheese, about a 1/4 cup, and place it under the broiler for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Really nice. Okay.
And that's the finished product.
Looks fabulous, and it was pretty easy. Once
Pretty
you make
easy,
the quinoa,
very
right?
quick.
All right, very good. Well, we're going to taste it at the end of the show. Taylor, thanks for being here.
Thank
We'll have
you.
the recipe over at WTNH.com. Just click on Style.